The 8 practical steps to start a relationship. Now, why this video? You have to understand that relationships in particular, like every other thing else, is very important how you start it. Because if you start it on the wrong footing, then you're setting yourself up for failure, painful heartbreak, divorce, and probably even death. Well, yes, literally death. Well, because people wake up and find out they are dating psychopaths and now they cannot leave because the person is threatening their lives. But the problem is not that you are dating a psychopath, it's how did you even find yourself there? Why? Because you didn't watch my video on the 8 steps to starting a relationship. This video is intended for young people, obviously, so I've tried to make it as fun as it can be, but well, I said try it, so I'm not making any promises. But without any further ado, the first step, this is for men, obviously, to starting a relationship. Obviously, step number 1, you have to find your target. You're not just going to go out there and just kind of start a relationship with anyone. Find your target means that amongst the many options out there, you have to pick one. It's not about the cocktail. You want the legs of sister A and you want the backside of sister B and the chest of sister D. Well, I hope I'm trying to keep this video very decent for as a wider audience as possible. But you have to find your target. That is the point. You have to identify, okay, this person piques my interest. And one important thing is to have a physical attractiveness to the person. Not ignoring their character, not ignoring their personality. Okay, I like this person, I like the way they behave, I like their politeness, I like this lady, they are kind. And but also, you're not going to be having just that in a long-term relationship like marriage. You have to find someone you're physically attracted to. So that's it. Point number 1, find your target. Point number 2, you have to evaluate your target. Now, this is very important because people tend to ignore this. We are right now entering the game of hunting. And in hunting, before the predator jumps at the prey, he has to first of all evaluate, can I handle this prey? Am I up to the task? Am I qualified for this prey? Because there are certain things we often say, this person is not in my league, or she thinks I'm not in her league. And we say it as a negative thing, but come to think of it, honestly, it's true. There are people that you're not in their league. Accept it. And there are people that are not in your league. It's as simple as that. So once you want to find someone, you have to check those things. Why? Because if you meet someone who is already at a certain level and you have to start struggling, duping your parents, or stealing in the worst, just so that you can meet up with their level of lifestyle, then you're already setting yourself up for failure. That's the evaluation on the lifestyle, for example. You also have to evaluate if I can handle this person. What are their weaknesses? What are their faults? Don't be blinded by just the beautiful things you're seeing on that person. You also have to ask yourself, what is negative about this person? If you tell me you're interested in someone and you cannot give me a list of 5 things that you hate and don't like about that person, then you're not ready to go about starting a relationship with that person. It means you don't know them, you haven't done your homework, you haven't evaluated. You have to be sure that, okay, these are the weaknesses I see and I've made up my mind to accept them, that I'm going to try. If I can work on it, fine, but if not, I'm taking the person at least for a start with those things. Step number 3, perhaps the most important, you have to investigate your target. This is the point people ignore and find themselves dating or in a kind of relationship they don't even understand how they got themselves into. Have you ever been in that kind of situation where you begin to ask yourself, whoa, how did I do to find myself in this situation? Yes, because you did not investigate. I always tell young people, you have to be a detective when it comes to finding the person you want to date, the person you want to be in a relationship with, and eventually, I'm talking about the long-term here, marriage. You have to investigate. Now, the beautiful thing is that social media today has made it very easy to investigate and do background checks. I mean, before you enter the army, they do a lot of in-depth background checks on you. I have friends who have served in armies and all over the place. And because we are friends, I've actually realized that they are doing a background check up to me. I'm not the one even entering the army, but they're doing a background check because I know that person. Yeah, you may not know that, but that's how it works. So if they can do a background check for just these physical things, yes, one person you want to be waking up with every day in your life after you're married, and yeah, you're not doing a background check. What are the kind of things they like? What are the kind of things they post? Is this person really a godly person? Are they saved? Do they love Jesus? Do they love the Lord? What are their priorities? You only answer those questions when you investigate. You don't just expect to walk up to Sister Mabel and Mabel will just tell you all the truth and facts about her. No, you have to do your homework. So with social media, you can go to their feed and see the kind of things they post, see the kind of things they like, see the kind of things they share. You understand? all of that, you're collecting your data. You're some kind of secret service agency and you're investigating, and halfway through the investigation, many times for some people or some targets, you realize no, this is not what this how she can dress and go in public. I'm not sure I can handle that. If this is how she hangs out with every single man around, then I'm not sure I can hang that. And she's so proud, posting it all over the place. Of course, social media is still limited in the sense that most of those things, they are curated, but you still can find a lot of valuable information when you look closely, especially on the subconscious things. The things people post themselves obviously is curated, but the things they share, the comments they make, the arguments and debates they get into, and the fights they jump into online, those are mostly subconscious, and they are very clear hints on the information you need to know. So before we continue to step 4, a very critical one, I want to say a big shout out to all our patrons who really support us and help us create content like this. More than 90% of our views are not monetized, so the support from our patrons goes a long way to help us to keep creating content like this. So if you have enjoyed any content on this channel, then make sure you check the link to our Patreon page, and whatever support you give, we'll greatly appreciate it. So going on to point number 4. Point number 4 is, are you ready? Actually, point number 4 should have been point number 1, but I'm probably sure if I started with this, you probably won't have continued watching the video, because it starts with you. Are you ready for a relationship? Are you ready for marriage? I always advise young people, let the sleeping dog lie. Don't stir up love before it is ready, the Songs of Solomon say. So until you're confident that you have prepared yourself for a relationship or marriage, you have read books, you have researched on how to deal with a woman, and likewise for ladies watching this, you are not ready. So until you answer this question, am I ready? Am I ready to take responsibility with the demands? Because today we get carried away watching media and all the beauty and fantasy in quotes of what true love feels like or looks like or sounds like, but it's not always going to be that way. You may feel that tingly when you see Sister Sandra today, but why am I even taking these names from? Whatever the names just come, I'm just going to use them. When you feel that tingling in your stomach, the butterflies, that is because it's still new and young. Once you get into a heated argument with that person, you realize that perhaps you were wrong, but no, you weren't wrong. You have to learn how to handle a relationship, and that was point number 1. Well, now it's point number 4. Are you ready? And number 5, the next one, a very important one, is conviction. You can pray and the Lord tells you, nope, that is not the person. You have to be humble enough to admit it and say, okay, I'm moving on. I'm going to dump several months of investigation and research on this target, find a new target or something. But if you're stubborn, you can always get yourself in trouble. So point number 5 is you have to pray. You have found your target, you have evaluated and said, now you can handle this. You have prepared yourself, obviously, and you have investigated, you have done your research, you have substantial information to believe that this is the right person for you to do it forever in your life with. And obviously now you take that person to God. I don't really believe God chooses spouses for us, but I think He can guide us to make the best choice for us. So once you take that person to God and you pray, obviously you have to, number 1, have an open mind. You don't go to God with the stamp of approval and then you just want God to sign besides. No, God doesn't do that. You have to go and let Him stamp it and approve it if it's indeed the person for you. And then you're the one who signed, right? God approves and then you run with it. You don't approve and then you tell God to back you. So God doesn't join your side, you join God's side. So once you pray, there is what we call conviction, a peace in your mind, in your soul, an assurance in your being that, okay, I can go ahead with this. This is the right person. Why do you need conviction? Because every relationship is tough, whether it's when you're still dating, courting, or when you're finally married. You're going to face challenges that will make you question, I think I made the wrong choice or I made a mistake. But it's that conviction that assures you that God said and stamped this, that you should go ahead with it. It means He's with you because you have chosen His side. You're going to work it through and overcome those challenges. Without conviction, at the slightest challenge, you just think you made a mistake and you dump and go. And the challenge with having half relationships or having a lot of heartbreaks is that for every heartbreak you have or inflict on someone or get inflicted on you, like a broken relationship, you technically reduce your chances of actually having a successful relationship. It's automatic, it's psychological, because what justification do you have to think this one will work if the previous 5 did not work? You see, your mind will ask you that. Why is this one the perfect one if the previous 5, 6, 7, 10 ones weren't? But if you have just one, you have just two, you're like, okay, I'm going to hang in here and I'm going to make it work. That's the reason why conviction is primordial and very, very necessary. Then we go to point number 6. Careful here, you initiate contact. Point number 6, you don't shoot at this step. You initiate contact. You receive conviction, or at least you think you've received conviction. Sometimes we think we have, but it's our mind talking to us. We're not yet clear. That's why it's safe to do point number 6. You don't shoot yet, or people just wake up with that, oh, I've prayed, I've received conviction. So you just go and tell the lady, the Lord told me you're the one I'm going to marry. And that's super wrong. No, super wrong. The Lord didn't tell you anything. No, you ask for conviction, you ask for assurance. That's what you're asking for. If you received it or not, that's up to you, and that's why it's important to initiate contact first. You just want to start things slow, be friends, get to find out that person, get to know if they are interested. And at the place of contact is initiating contact is where you, what we call locally in our parlance, you're throwing your seeds, the worms for the fish or the corn for the bird, and you're throwing. If the person is eating, means she's showing interest in you, replying your messages, picking your calls. But if none of that is happening, then it's quite dumb to go ahead and earn yourself another rejection for no good reason. I mean, initiating contact is testing the waters with one leg before you jump. Don't just come and jump and then you get an injury and you get really disappointed. No. So initiating contact gently, friendship, getting to take things slow, and understanding if the person is opening up and giving room and green lights for you to progress before you progress is very important. In the world, not necessarily in the world, many people can counter this and say the challenge with initiating contact slow, going with friendship, is that you can end up being friend zoned. Yes, that is something that can happen. Yes, it did happen to me. I was talking about I can be stubborn. I remember my wife today when I decided, okay, I'm going to ask her out today. When I was still tying my lace to leave the house, I could get the conviction of the Holy Spirit telling me it's not yet time. Remember, he didn't say she's not the one. He said it's not yet time. She's not ready. But of course, I can be stubborn sometimes, and I set out. And that same Sunday, I had my graduation in church from Bible school, but here was I going to ask a lady out. In retrospect now, that sounds very carnal, right? Well, Lord, I'm sorry, I missed Bible school graduation to go and woo a lady. Well, maybe I can justify that today we're married, so I guess it works or not. Well, sorry, Lord, but that's the point. So I get there and I express my intentions to this sister, and without hesitation, there is no I'll think about it or come. No, she just tells me, nope, she's not ready. She is definitely not ready. And I couldn't argue because it just dawned on me, yes, but as you heard it before coming here that you shouldn't come here. So why are you here? That was back to conviction, but that was also helping us elaborate on the point that then I was friend zoned. We became closer as friends. We'd actually known ourselves, and the place of friend zone is that it's like you're on the bench in the football team or a soccer team, as called in the West mostly. You're in a soccer team, but you're still on the bench. So you're not yet a starting 11, but at least you have the opportunity to prove yourself that you can be a starting 11. You can be the star of the team or of the game. So it's not enough to fear friend zone. No, you have to start things that way because it's safer for you and safer for them too. And then even if you get friend zone, you have the opportunity. Why? Because I say if you really prove yourself to be the valuable asset because you've prepared yourself, then they are going to see that value and definitely end up appreciating and accepting you as a life partner. And obviously, step number 7, you evaluate and you shoot. This is the part where the lion has seen its prey. He has done all the homework. He has evaluated. The prey has shown interest that, okay, you can say the words and I'm going to give you a positive answer. And this is where you go ahead and shoot your shot, like we say locally. And God willing, God bless you, it should be a positive. And then you can start a relationship. Why is there point number 8? Point number 8 is if the answer is no. You have to take stock what went wrong. Take stock of whatever response was given to you. No, because of this. No, because you don't have a job. Brother, go and get a job. no, because you are not yet responsible in this or that, or no, because I'm pursuing this. Can I wait? Would you want to wait? There are a whole lot of reasons why a no could come. That's why point number 8 is you taking stock of things, reevaluating and deciding whether you're moving on or you're hanging around. You know, for my case, the Holy Spirit told me she was not ready, so I knew I had to hang around. It wasn't about a definitive no to move on. And that's why it's important to be spiritual about this thing, because I'm not talking about childish boy and girl friendship, relationship things you just do here. We're talking about serious wisdom to have dominion in your relationship and marriage life after that. And well, because you've watched till the end, it's a bonus for you. Healthy relationships are built on principles from day one. So if you're at step 7, you get a positive answer. From the day that your relationship starts, you want to set the ground rules. We do not kiss. We do not have sex before marriage. We do not lie to each other. We are honest towards each other. We trust one another. We look out for the best interest. Those are the principles that lay the foundation for the relationship to proceed. Why? Because you may just, if you just assume the principles and say, well, as we are believers, we already know, it's assumed, you will not be able to tell when the other person is breaking those rules. You can call them boundaries. So you set the boundaries for a healthy relationship from day one, and then you keep each other in check to see that you follow those boundaries. Obviously, you can have moments of weakness, moments of temptation, and that's why once the boundaries are clearly spoken and laid out, why not even written, the other person can cover up for when the other is weak. So that is it. 8 steps, 8 practical steps to starting a relationship for men, you know. In other words, how to woo a lady and probably eventually get married to her. Well, worked in my case, and I think if you apply this diligently, it should also work with you. Note point number 4, you definitely want to be ready. You want to build yourself. You want to be the kind of man every lady desires. You want to be a dream come true, a knight in is it knight in shining armor or something like that? Sorry, I don't read fairy tales, but yes, knight in shining armor. And you want to have a conviction before you move anywhere. Of course, don't forget to do your investigations and have enough material before you set out there. Never go hunting blind. You're setting yourself up for a serious embarrassment. And whatever the case, remember, as kingdom citizens, we are still friends. You know, there is no such thing as X in the kingdom. You don't end up arch enemies because a relationship didn't work or because a lady told you no. No, our focus is first of all Christ. Heaven is the goal. Relationship, thank God. But if it doesn't work, the Lord bless you. I keep praying for you. We are still brethren. You never know where you're going to meet again in life. So this worldly culture where we try to adopt in the church, where we can tend to look at someone negatively, you know, we also watch a lot of Nollywood or Nigerian movies, and where you think because this person did not accept your proposal, they'll suffer, or you find someone excuse me, you're going to find someone better than them, or it's not necessarily that way. You know, focus on Christ, focus on your purpose, and you get someone who matches that purpose, matches that vision. You share the same desires and passions and dreams. That's all what you do in your investigation. Well, I hope the video has blessed you. I think I'll also do 8 steps, or maybe less than 8, to start a relationship. For ladies, it should probably be most of these points, but maybe bad for the shooting your shot, given our society in general. For the majority, doesn't really consider it, I don't know, decent. Probably still considers it taboo for a lady to actually go out there and propose to a guy to marry him. Actually saying it sounds weird because I'm not used to, but I do see videos recently a lot about ladies doing that. But would I recommend it? I'm not quite sure. Probably not. But that's probably what we're going to see in the next video. So if you haven't checked out the video, I don't know if the video is out already. You should be able to see the link on it somewhere around this video, or in the description, or in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. I am Buddha's Chumesi from Wisdom for Dominion. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit the bell if you're new here. And a big thanks again to our patrons. And until the next video, happy hunting.